The northeast of England, a place of tough lads and hard lives, where respect is earned, not given. In this world lived Michael Big Viv Higham and Craig Mad Chocker Brown Jameson. Two names that sent shivers down spines. Big Viv, a mountain of a man known for his brute strength. Mad Chocker Brown, wiry and unpredictable, fueled by a hair-trigger temper. Together, they were unstoppable. These weren't your average tough guys. They were a different breed. Legends whispered in pubs and on street corners. Stories of their exploits exaggerated with each telling. They were the hardest men in the northeast. Everyone knew it, but behind the fearsome reputations, a complex story unfolded. One of friendship, loyalty, and the struggle for power. Big Viv and Mad Chocker Brown weren't childhood sweethearts. Their friendship was born in the fire of youthful rebellion. Both lads grew up tough, surrounded by poverty and violence. The streets were their playground, and fighting was their education. Their paths first crossed in a dingy pub, the Dog and Duck. A fight broke out. It was brutal. Chairs smashed, glasses flew. In the chaos, Big Viv saw Chocker, smaller but fearless, taking on two blokes at once. Viv, impressed, stepped in. That night, a bond was forged. A mutual respect, a shared understanding of the world they lived in. They became inseparable, partners in crime. And as their reputation grew, so did their legend. Word spread like wildfire. Big Viv and Mad Chocker Brown were a force to be reckoned with. They started small, protection rackets, a bit of intimidation, nothing major, but their ruthlessness was evident. They weren't afraid to use their fists, or worse, to get what they wanted. Their reputation preceded them. A whisper, a nod was all it took. People feared them. And fear, as they say, is a powerful weapon. Soon they controlled the streets. Businesses paid for their protection. They were the undisputed kings of their domain, but with power came enemies, rivals, jealous of their success, eager to take them down. Big Viv and Mad Chocker Brown, however, were ready for a fight. Stories of their exploits became the stuff of legend. There was the time they single-handedly took down a rival gang armed with baseball bats. Or the night they walked into a pub and drank everyone under the table just to prove a point. One story, recounted by a nervous bartender, spoke of a man who disrespected Chocker Brown. Big Viv, with a single punch, sent the man flying across the room, knocking him unconscious. No charges were ever filed. No one dared to cross them. But it wasn't all violence and intimidation. They had a soft spot for their own, protecting the vulnerable in their community. They were a paradox, ruthless criminals, yet strangely honorable in their own twisted way. The northeast lived in the shadow of Big Viv and Mad Chocker Brown. Fear gripped the hearts of many. Shopkeepers shuttered their windows early. Parents warned their children not to speak their names. But amidst the fear, a strange admiration flickered. For some, they represented a twisted form of Robin Hood, protecting their own, standing up to the authorities who had neglected them for so long. They were a product of their environment, the neglected underbelly of society. They were the symptom, not the cause. And in a strange way, they provided a perverse sense of security. As long as you stayed on their good side, you were safe, or so the thinking went. Their bond, unbreakable for years, began to crack. The cause? A woman. Lisa, fiery and beautiful, caught Chocker's eye. Big Viv, always protective of his friend, warned him off. Lisa, he said, was trouble. Chocker, blinded by love, refused to listen. The friendship strained. Arguments escalated into fights. The once inseparable duo, now at odds, it was the beginning of the end. Their enemies, sensing weakness, saw an opportunity. The stage was set for a showdown.